Alright, what's up guys? Stingray Trades here. Just doing another weekend review. Ending this week a little bit early, just because we do have FOMC and NFP at the end of the week. So just playing this week a little cautious, you know. I don't usually like to trade around a lot of big events unless I know what to expect or I kind of know what price action is going to do. Um, from what I've seen, these are pretty erratic, so I'm just going to sit out. But I did end up taking one trade this week that we talked about in the weekend review. Just one of the two setups I was looking at. UJ didn't quite give me the trigger that I wanted. Um, but dollar CAD did, so I took dollar CAD. So we'll look at that. So first I'll start with the chart that we were looking at over the weekend, right? So when we were looking at it, we had just broken this level, right? We were coming into this support right here, and I was looking for either a clean break of this level right here to short, right? I would have been looking for a clean break, a rounded retest, a nice breakdown on lower time frames, and then to take it lower. Or I was looking at this level, right? We didn't know which one it was going to come into, but it didn't really matter because either way, whenever it comes into that level, that's when we start looking for the trigger, right? So until then, it doesn't really matter what level it comes into. You can take the trade either way, right? You don't have to take it here. You don't have to take it here. This is the same chart. This is the same level marked out right on the H4, right? Down move that pushed the market up, right? Same thing here. Down move that pushed the market up. So if we drop down to a lower time frame on this one, just on an hourly, I'll show you why I entered and where I exited. Right. So you had your push up right into the level, and this is where I was kind of interested, right? As soon as it broke through and they got rejected, I was like, all right, look, it's rejected off this level. We have our daily ATR right here, so it's almost touched daily ATR. This was on Monday's ATR, and this is Tuesday's ATR, right? So I said, look, our daily ATR is right here. So if I do get a low time frame breakdown, I can place my risk off this, right? So this is exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for this structure to form on a lower time frame for me to give me my trigger, right? And you might say, okay, fine, it kind of did it here, but it didn't really break, right? When I say low time frame, I really mean a low time frame. And the only way this really works is you can find a breakdown in the middle of nowhere, right? But it's not really going to work unless you have a high time frame premise, unless you kind of know you're in sync with the overall direction of the market. Then you're going to kind of just get chopped up trying to do this in the middle of nowhere. So I only suggest when you go down to lower time frames. I got this from Trader SE. A lot of the concepts I use, I got from Trader SE. So the way I learned it is that you base everything on a higher time frame context, right? And then you drop down to the lower time frame to nail the entry, because that's where you're going to get the precision. All right, so look, you make the high, point 0.1, right? You make the high, you make the low, right? So this would be the low right here that I marked out. So high, low, higher low, sorry, higher, lower high, right? Lower high, right here, and then it breaks. It breaks this, and this is the low time frame shift in market structure that I was looking for, right? So I retraded it. I traded it right here on this retest. As soon as it retraded up to here, I took that short, right? And because I had a clear invalidation level, I didn't care, right? It did this, that's fine. It came back down and it went back up here, that's fine. I don't really care because as long as I know where I'm clearly wrong, then it doesn't matter, right? So if we zoom a little bit out again, I took this short right here. And you see I was in drawdown, right? So I was in profit, I was in drawdown, right? And I almost got squeezed out right here. You see it came up and almost tested the highs right here, and I had my stop above here, missed my stop by a couple pips, right above the range high. It could have very well have swing failed this and then gotten back within, right? And if it swing failed that and got back within, if I'd given us another trigger, then I would have gotten back in because my high time frame says that I'm supposed to be going down, right? The reason I played this so cautiously is I would have actually played this to the range low. I would have played it a lot lower because I'm actually looking for a lot lower prices on this. But the reason I played it so cautious is this morning I cut it in New York session, right? So the way I would have used this range is, okay, fine. If it swing failed this, it would have taken this. You would have been taking your first trouble area here, and you would have been taking your final profits here, right? And you can add the previous week's low in there because that's another huge reference point. These are a lot of the reference points that I use just to look for swing failure patterns, pattern breaks, just general failure patterns in general, right? So there's a lot of ways you can use low time frame ranges. But the reason I play this so conservatively this week is just because of the economic events, right? There's no reason to take this risk and aim for the what would have been. So I knocked in what 1.4R. You could have gone for the full 2.8R, right? You could have even gone for lower, right? This thing looks like it's going to drop right now. I do think this will drop a little bit lower if we look back at our other picture, right? I do think this is going to break this level and then ahead eventually lower. But as we see, we are into support, right? So economic events. We're into support. It's end of the month. The price action is going to be choppy. There's no reason to take this risk right here. Until next week, this can cleanly break this and then find resistance here. Then I'll be aiming for the mid-range, the macro mid-range we were talking about. But other than that, that's all I'm really looking for right now. I'll take my 1.4R or whatever it was and call it a week, right? I don't need to force any trades. I am still in that silver long, but that's pretty much it. I'm just going to sit on that for a while. I think that one looks pretty good. So I'm looking for a deeper pullback on it to compound. But other than that, this is the only setup that I really took this week and felt comfortable taking. I still have an eye on dollar yen, but like I said, it didn't really give me the proper trigger I needed. So anyways, have a good one, guys.